lying to you, saying nothing's going on, and it's her that he's cheating with.
Yeah, betrayal is really a devastating thing. At the end of any marriage is very sad.
For decades, fans around the world have watched Shania Twain with admiration. They saw the glamorous outfits, the powerful stage performances, the confidence, the smile, and the voice that changed country music forever. To millions, she looked unstoppable, untouchable, like someone born to shine. But behind that global fame was a woman carrying stories few people truly understood. Stories of heartbreak, survival, silence, and strength. For years people whispered. They wondered what she had been through, what she had hidden, and how much pain stood behind the music. Shania rarely answered those questions directly. She kept moving, kept smiling, kept performing. But now, at 60, she's speaking more openly than ever, and fans everywhere are listening differently. What Shania has confirmed isn't gossip. It isn't scandal. It's something deeper, more human, more painful, and perhaps more inspiring than anyone expected. Before the world knew her as Shania Twain, she was Eileen Regina Edwards, born in Windsor, Ontario, on August 28, 1965. Long before the platinum albums and sold-out arenas, she was a little girl growing up in a home where life was difficult and unpredictable. Money was often tight. Winters were harsh. The family struggled constantly. There were days when simply making it through felt like a victory. But even in those early years, music became her escape. It became the one place where she could breathe freely. Her voice appeared before fame ever did. As a child, Shania sang constantly. At home, at local gatherings, anywhere someone would listen. Her talent was obvious almost immediately. But talent doesn't erase hardship. While other children were worrying about school or games, Shania was learning responsibility far too early. She has spoken publicly about growing up around pain, chaos, and emotional difficulty. Those experiences shaped her deeply, though for many years she carried them quietly. Music became more than passion. It became survival. By the time she was very young, she was performing publicly, singing in clubs and local venues to help support her family. Imagine standing under stage lights while still a child, singing to strangers late into the night, then waking up the next morning and going back to ordinary life like nothing unusual had happened. That was her reality. Night after night. Song after song. Her voice became both her shield and her escape route. But even while she was singing for others, she was learning how to protect pieces of herself from the world. Years later, fans would hear confidence in her music, strength, independence, boldness, but Shania has revealed that much of that strength was built through pain. The fearless woman audiences saw on stage didn't appear overnight. She was created through endurance. Then tragedy struck in a way that changed everything. In 1987, when Shania was just 22 years old, her mother and stepfather were killed in a car accident. In one moment, her life split into before and after. The loss was devastating. It was not just grief, it was responsibility. Suddenly she became caretaker for her younger siblings. Her own dreams had to wait. While many young artists were chasing fame, Shania was trying to hold a family together. And she did. She stepped up when she had every reason to fall apart. For years she put her ambitions aside to support the people she loved. She worked relentlessly, performing at Deerhurst Resort in Ontario, singing night after night while quietly carrying responsibilities beyond her age. Many fans never knew that while she was entertaining crowds, she was also trying to rebuild life from unimaginable loss. Eventually, Nashville called. And when she finally arrived, the road wasn't easy there either. Her early career wasn't an instant success story. There were setbacks, rejections, people unsure what to do with her sound. She didn't fit neatly into one box. She wasn't country enough for some, too bold for others, too different from what the industry expected. But that difference became her power. Then everything changed. When she connected with producer Robert John Mutt Lang, a new chapter began. Together they created music that would redefine country pop forever. When The Woman in Me was released in 1995, it exploded. Suddenly Shania Twain wasn't just an emerging artist, she was everywhere. Any man of mine. Whose bed have your boots been under? No one needs to know. Her voice became impossible to ignore. Then came Come On Over. And history changed. The album became one of the biggest-selling records by any female artist ever. Songs like You're Still the One, That Don't Impress Me Much, and Man, I Feel Like a Woman, became global anthems. She wasn't just topping charts, she was shaping culture. Her image became iconic. The leopard prints, the confidence, the attitude, the performances. But while the world saw glamour, Shania has since shared that her private reality was far more complicated. Success didn't erase old wounds. Fame didn't silence insecurity. And applause didn't heal trauma. Over time she began opening up more about how childhood experiences continued affecting her long after becoming famous. Even at the height of global success, internal battles remained. Like many survivors, she learned how to keep functioning while carrying invisible weight. Then another heartbreak arrived. Her marriage ended in one of the most painful and public chapters of her life. The betrayal deeply wounded her. She has spoken honestly about how emotionally devastating that period was. It wasn't simply divorce, it felt like her world collapsing beneath her. Someone she trusted deeply was suddenly gone, and rebuilding herself required enormous strength. For a time, it seemed as though Shania disappeared from the spotlight. Fans wondered where she had gone. Would she ever return? Would she sing again? Behind the scenes, another battle was unfolding, one with her health. Her voice, the very gift that had carried her through everything, began changing. She experienced frightening vocal issues and uncertainty about whether she'd ever perform the same way again. For someone whose identity had been built around singing since childhood, losing confidence in her voice felt devastating. She later described grieving her voice. Think about that. Grieving your own voice. The thing that saved you. The thing that introduced you to the world. The thing people recognized instantly. And suddenly not knowing if it would stay with you. But Shania didn't quit. She kept fighting. She sought treatment. She worked through fear. She faced recovery step by step. She underwent surgery. She rebuilt her voice differently. Not exactly the same, but still hers. And perhaps stronger because of everything it survived. Over the last several years, something shifted. Fans noticed it. Her interviews became more open, more vulnerable, more fearless. She started speaking not only about music, but about aging, body image, confidence, healing, trauma, and self-acceptance. At an age when many women in entertainment feel pressured to disappear quietly, Shania did the opposite. She became louder, bolder, freer. When she released Queen of Me, it felt like more than an album title. It felt like a statement, a declaration, a woman claiming herself completely. No apologies, no permission needed. And then came the conversations that sparked headlines everywhere. People said she was finally confirming what fans had sensed for years, that beneath all the glamour was someone who had fought battles far heavier than the public ever realized. And yes, in many ways, she did. Not by giving the world scandal, but by giving the world truth. She confirmed that pain shaped her, that trauma left marks, that confidence had to be learned, that beauty and insecurity can exist together. That strength is not the absence of struggle, it's what remains after surviving it. She spoke about learning to love herself more fully as she got older, about no longer wanting to hide, about becoming comfortable in her own body after years of complicated emotions, about reclaiming her image on her own terms. For some people, those words were surprising. For longtime fans, they made perfect sense. Because the woman who sang Man, I Feel Like a Woman, was always singing about freedom. Maybe now the world finally understands how hard she fought to find it. At 60, Shania Twain isn't trying to become someone new. She's becoming fully herself. And that may be the most powerful chapter of all. Today, when she walks onto a stage, people still cheer for the icon. But now they're also cheering for the survivor. The child who sang through hardship. The young woman who carried her family through tragedy. The artist who transformed country music. The woman who rebuilt herself after heartbreak. The performer who fought to find her voice again. And the human being who chose honesty over silence. Her legacy isn't just record sales, though those are extraordinary. It isn't just awards, though she has many. It isn't just fashion moments, tours, or chart history. It's resilience. That's what people connect with now more than ever. Because Shania Twain's story was never only about fame. It was about survival, about reinvention, about refusing to disappear. And maybe that's why this moment feels so emotional for fans. Because after decades of music, headlines, and public fascination, what Shania has finally confirmed isn't some shocking rumor. It's something far more meaningful. She confirmed she endured more than most people knew. She confirmed healing is not linear. She confirmed scars don't make someone weaker. She confirmed pain can transform into art. She confirmed vulnerability can become power. And perhaps most importantly, she confirmed that it's never too late to reclaim your voice. Not at 20. Not at 40. Not at 60. Not ever. That's why audiences still fill arenas to see her. That's why generations still sing every lyric. That's why her music still feels alive. Because behind every song is someone who lived every word. And now, with more honesty than ever before, Shania Twain is letting the world see the woman behind the legend. Not perfect. Not untouched. Not untouched by grief or heartbreak or fear. But standing. Still shining. Still singing. Still here. And maybe that's the real reason her story continues to resonate across generations. Because in a world obsessed with perfection, Shania Twain reminds people of something better. Survival is beautiful. Healing is powerful. And owning your truth, especially after years of silence, is its own kind of victory. At 60, Shania Twain isn't closing a chapter. She's writing a new one. And according to fans around the world, it may be her strongest yet.